Hello everybody, Aiden here, and welcome back to another video on the Around the Slice Entertainment YouTube channel. Last week, Season 5 of The Bear with all 8 episodes premiered and released on Disney Plus / Hulu. So of course, as always with any new TV show or movie around here, I am here to review and discuss it with you all via positives, negatives for myself, and then a final personal concrete score out of 10 to give you all a great point of reference there. Before we dive into all of that fun stuff, however, if you enjoy any of this type of content at all, please consider liking this video today and subscribing to the channel overall, as we always have fun and exciting content coming out on a weekly basis and releasing on a weekly basis around here, such as my initial review of the first few episodes on Disney Plus of X-Men 97 Season 2 later this week. And then, hyped out of my mind, we're so close, I can't believe it, exactly 1 month from today, at the time of this recording, at the time you're seeing this installment video, whatever, as well, Spider-Man Brand New Day. The hype, let's just say the hype has more than started, to say the least. Yeah. The Bear, my one overarching takeaway of Season 5, starting with positives, of course, this was a true return to form for the show, I felt, in spades, at least in terms of emphasizing what matters most for this show at the end of the day, the business, both financially and physically. I'll dive into it. By far, my personal, and I've heard this from many others as well, family, friends, cousins, whatever, that watch it as well. By far, my personal biggest issue with Season 4 is I felt like they focused on everything but the actual restaurant itself. This show, quote unquote, grew up on the restaurant. First with the beef, and now obviously with the bear itself. Don't give us all these meaningless, stupid subplots that we're not going to remember in a few days. We don't care about that. Get back to what the heart and soul, get back to what these characters really strive and progress for. That's the actual restaurant. And I felt that this episode was a perfect display of the restaurant and getting back to what really matters in this show. Season 4, again, I'll just remind you, did not reference the restaurant like at all. There was no progression whatsoever, and they focused on everything but the restaurant. It felt like at various different points with meaningless, stupid subplots with that once again, I felt at least that nobody cared about, especially myself. So in that sense, this was a true return to form in terms of emphasizing what matters in that sense. And an extension of emphasizing what matters, I really liked the characterization and the character development and growth, if you will, of Carmen Berzado, the main character, front-facing character, by far, biggest one by far, of The Bear. I did not like, in the last couple installment seasons, rather, how Carmi was characterized. This might be a hot take, I don't really know. I felt that Carmi was shafted in seasons 3 and 4. He was barely in his own show. Yeah, he was physically there, but in terms of character progression, character growth, emotional, physical growth, none of that. This was a return to form for both the restaurant, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, but also Carmi as a character. He got a lot of great character progression this season. While he might want to be leaving the restaurant, by the finale, we find out he's interviewing to be an intern at this architectural firm. Maybe he does a good job, and he doesn't do a good job, up to you. But at least he's willing to leave the restaurant behind and progressing in that matter. After him being shafted for the last couple seasons and him being the main character of his own show and barely being in it, other than like literally physically being in it, this was a really nice return for Carmi, if you ask me. And then just the series ended on a really high note, I personally felt, with the finale. If you ask me, it was a perfect and great culmination and combination, rather. It was a great mix/blend, there you go, mix/blend of great character moments and tying a bow on both the restaurant and giving various different characters closure. Sydney is now going to take over as basically the head honcho, the head chef for Carmi. Ibra and his gang, Chucky, Chi-Chi, Albert, to an extent, Uncle Computer as well. They're going to franchise it out. I have my own qualms when it comes to that, which we'll get to, unfortunately, with my negatives we got to talk about. But yeah, the finale was a really, sweet, emotional combination of tying a nice mix and blend, really nice mix and blend of tying a bow on both the restaurant and giving various different characters, main, supporting, really everyone involved, closure that we wanted to see as an audience. Again, I do have negatives. In the first 3 or 4 episodes, to me personally at least, you guys can let me know down in the comments below, are a little slow out of the gate. It feels a little rushed. Not a lot rushed, but it feels just a little rushed, give or take a little rushed, right around there. I wasn't really jiving. I don't know if that's the right term. I wasn't really feeling personally the whole Chicago torrential downpour theme. I understand that everyone's got to rush around because of it. There were just moments in the first 3 or 4 episodes that I didn't really care for, and I wasn't really enjoying the whole setting personally. Obviously, when the rush comes in from the storm, the season is really backloaded in terms of quality with the final 3 or 4 episodes, but the first 3 or 4 episodes, I wasn't really feeling it personally. The torrential downpour setting, I felt, again, you can let me know in the comments below, I felt personally that it made things feel really rushed and chaotic. So unfortunately, I do have to dock it a couple points here and there, as you'll see evidenced by my final score in a few moments here, give or take. But yeah, that's just, something I noticed for sure. And then there were a couple, or rather a few storylines that I didn't personally care for. They didn't, I mean, let's just face it, they didn't really go anywhere. Like, first, from the trailer, from the end of Gary, the special episode drop, I did watch for sure. And then at the very beginning of season 5, episode 1, Richie gets into a car crash, and everyone was theorizing, will he die? Probably not. At the very least, will he be in the hospital? Will he take a step back from the restaurant? And it happens, and there's no repercussions. Like, that's not really realistic. Like, it was a serious car crash. He doesn't take a step back from the restaurant. He's not in the hospital. He's just perfectly fine. He kind of blows it off to everyone like, oh, I got in a car crash. No big deal. Like, realistically, in real life, that's not something that you just blow off. I would have liked to see more, like, not to be too dark here in a show like this, but I'd like to see more consequences here and there from that throughout the season. I mean, they just brushed it off in the first 20, 30 minutes of the first 10, 15 minutes, of the first episode, end of Gary leading into season 5, episode 1. And it's not realistic at all. Like, there were no consequences other than just like brushing it off here and there. And then the whole air rights storyline with Crazy Mary, and Raymond, that was just kind of shoehorned in. That was kind of the whole franchise idea of its infancy. Obviously, Computer, Jimmy, who was the crew? Computer, Jimmy, Pete, and Cheese. His Computer's niece, Terry, is her real name. They go to see Mary and talk to her about the air rights because they have this infancy idea of wanting to build something above the restaurant. And Mary says no, but they didn't go back and try again. Like, I thought that would turn into something for sure. And then in turn, I wasn't really jiving with the whole like execution of the franchising idea. Like, I understand the idea itself. Like, sure, we want to profit from this more. We want to create more sub kitchens of the original beef and make some throwbacks in the suburbs of Chicago, both northern cities and southern cities around Chicago, rather. But the whole execution of the franchising idea was really flawed, in my opinion, and rushed. Like, the idea comes in like episode 4 or 5, and they wait till episode 8, really the last 10, 15 minutes of episode 8 to really flesh it out, even if that. I would have liked to see Ibra and his crew, again, Ibra, Chi-Chi, Terry, they call it Cheese, Computer, Jimmy. I would have liked to see them working in some of this franchise and have it up and running before the season ends. Again, finale was, as a whole, was really sweet and great and emotional, that level-wise, but there was just a few ideas and storylines that I felt execution-wise and idea-wise just weren't really fleshed out fully to the fullest of their capabilities, if that makes sense. Yeah. The franchising idea is great, but the execution was really rushed. Like, they waited until the very last episode to dive into that, and even then, like, they didn't really display it. Like, I would have loved to see them working and, like, fully, like, architectural wise, like, maybe do a time jump to the last 10, 15 minutes or so, give or take around there, of the season finale, season 5 finale. Now we know series finale in turn with that whole fun stuff, but I don't know. Just a few storylines that didn't really work. Moral of the story: this was a return to form, for true return to form, excuse me. I personally felt, I hope you do as well, for this show, The Bear at Hand. It emphasized what really matters at the end of the day after shafting so many different sub storylines to give us so many different meaningless, stupid, extremely forgettable storylines the last couple installments of this wonderful show. But for everything I just explained, I'm going to give season 5 of The Bear on the Around the Slice Entertainment YouTube channel from me, myself, Aiden, and very great 8.5 out of 10. Again, there were a few storylines that were kind of jumbled up and a bit rushed in the beginning or so. So, again, reminder, 8.5 out of 10. Please let me know down in the comments below, what did you like about the season? Do you agree with my takes on the season? What didn't you like about the season, maybe? What would you give it out of 10? Little tease here. Please come back later this week for even more Bear content, starting with my ranking of all 5 seasons of The Bear. That will be interesting as I sped run through these seasons over the last 2.5 months, 3 months or so. So check out that later this week. Excuse me. And then next week, I'm thinking I'm going to do a character tier list / ranking of all our notable characters and side characters, because the characters are along with the restaurant, of course, are what make the show go. So more of the Bear content is absolutely on the way. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10, and we're rolling. So please follow me personally on Twitter at AYGunner13 for even more Bear discussion, but more importantly, any movie and or TV show thoughts, opinions, and discussions over there. Please share this video and channel with anyone and everyone you know. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for the support and growth. As always, you know it always means so much to me. See you next time. Goodbye.